guest.
Oh, okay. Then you want to sign up a guest here?
Absolutely.
Get this out of your way. Do you have any bills? Have you?
Yeah, I've got some I'm going to present,
Okay.
which we've already approved this.
Oh, you have?
For the brochure.
Okay. I've got to talking too long and got. All right. I want to make a. This has already been approved.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
remember?
approved it.
Yeah, we approved it last
Twice,
time.
actually.
Okay.
You got to talking. That's really weird.
But the who?
That hardly ever happens to you, does it? You get to talking too long?
You know, it reminds me of somebody else in our community that has, and I learned an interesting, pardon me, Richard, hold your thought, but I've got to share this. This person he's not particularly a twisted individual, but let me just say that he is expansive in what he can create around him, like a impersonation type individual. He's really fluid in presenting himself of a very prominent local political
He already
figure.
told us the story.
And yeah. When are you going to run for governor?
He's in the wrong state.
I
got mistaken as Jerry Abramson in Louisville last Friday.
Oops.
But it's the third time in the last 18 months that I've been to Louisville.
Okay.
And all 3 times, the same thing. I get mistaken. as
That's
Jerry.
amazing.
But, yeah, if you
So do
didn't
you
know
see the
Jerry.
resemblance?
Yeah, actually,
Okay.
well, what was funny was, ever since I first got here, people would say that.
Okay.
And then, and I told my parents are like, yeah. Well, they come down to visit me, and I take them out to lunch at Christie's. And this is my first year here, and one of the women from Christie's comes up. Well, I'm sitting with my parents, and she goes, "I'm sorry to bother you folks." She said, "But excuse me," and she looks right at me, and she goes, "Do you know you look like Jerry Abramson, the mayor of Louisville?" And I looked at her without even cracking a smile. I said, "Well, that's because I am Jerry Abramson, the mayor of Louisville." And her jaw about hit the table and dropped so far. I said, "No, I'm just kidding."
That's funny.
So my parents now, they're like, they've seen this.
Now they believe it. Yeah.
They go back to Vermont, and my dad calls me the next week and goes, I went out and Googled that guy, and you do look like him.
That's funny.
Well,
Okay.
We'll go ahead and get started.
Apologize there. This? Okay. All right, go ahead.
I'll call the meeting of the Worcester County Tourism to order around 5:06. You guys had a chance to look at the minutes.
Did you,
You should have a copy of where I got one here.
did you give me a copy? There's one of the things I want to clear up. Okay, there was something in here, I thought, Hank, that, and Richard, and ladies, that you had approved for me to go ahead and write radio scripts promoting our
That was
tourism.
2 times
That was
ago.
a couple of meetings.
That would have been July.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd been July's meeting.
This was, I saw July. And it was $100 a month, and I've got a copy of her proposal, but that's $100 a month, $100 a month. Is that mentioned in the July minutes? That's a $100 fee per month.
I can't
In
remember.
July,
what-
we didn't. No. Well, we'll have to look back at July minutes.
Okay, it's not in here, so we'll just, okay, I was thinking it was last month, but I wrote some more radio scripts and submitted them to Becky.
Because I know last month you brought it up, you'd already paid, like the $100 for.
But that's $100 every month, and it's an ongoing process for me to write up new radio scripts. I wrote up a couple more the weekend about the Lady Creek Park and for the Knobstone Trail. And so I don't know if anybody heard them on the radio.
No,
I've not heard them, but you heard them on
I
the
don't
radio?
listen to the radio.
But I haven't listened to the radio, so
Okay.
that'd be a good thing to do.
Well, I've got a couple more of them to turn in to Becky, and I'll look tomorrow morning.
Okay.
I do have a question. I wasn't here. But, whenever we do, it always says motion passed, it doesn't tell what the vote was. I think that the minutes should reflect
Oh, okay.
yea and nay.
Okay, do I have
So-
a,
I'm sorry, just back on the radio
Accept the
thing.
minutes?
Lowell, is there any way that Becky can provide us with a WAV file of those radio spots
A WAV file.
as she creates them? Yeah, it's a digital file that can be emailed to people.
Yes.
Most applications can open those up.
Yes.
So could you ask her to do that, you think?
Oh, a radio, a WAV?
Yeah, Rhonda says that it can't, that she knows how to do it, so.
Just, yeah,
What's it called?
It's I'm sorry, we call it a WAV file, but it's just a file that has a .wav extension on it. But it's a WAV audio file is how people refer to it.
he just wants a recording of it.
And that way, I mean, we could play it here in the meeting and we can,
Okay,
it'd be kind of interesting.
okay. Alrighty. I'll talk to her tomorrow, more than likely tomorrow. I was
Right.
there this morning.
And if we ever have an archiving website, we can actually post them on there and people can actually click them and listen to them.
Okay. I have bought a canopy, and it is at the city hall in the basement.
Do we need to finish the minutes?
Yeah.
On the agenda?
Anything else on this?
I move that we approve the minutes.
Denise made the motion to approve the minutes, do I have a second?
All second.
Hank, second it. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, treasurer's report.
Presently, we have $11,574.50. Now, I'm going to pay this, right this minute, we have $11,574.50 in the treasurer. And I'll pay this bill here.
Yeah, because it's already been approved, so.
Yeah.
And what was the final amount of that bill from
Uh,
CPI?
We can record that.
What was the final amount?
This was 2130.67. And I got a check from Sarah Bachman came to the state, $2,109.55. I deposited that on August the 9th, and that brought the total up to $11,574.50. Anybody wants to look at this here?
So how much was, I'm sorry, how much was the disbursement?
Got $11,574.50, and we received, what, over $2,000?
2109, and that covers second quarter of the calendar year?
Usually it's quarter.
January, February, March, and then April, May, and June, okay. And then, so that second quarter and the third calendar quarter, those should be the two quarters that we expect to make the most money on, right?
Yeah, usually the second and the third's
Yeah,
the best two.
during the
What's your address?
hospitality season, as it were.
What's your address box?
Who, hers?
Oh, here it is.
Hey,
box.
It should, I don't know where you send it to.
By the way,
What's her
Bob
address
Gunn.
uptown? A box?
Guns,
Well-
Orchards,
Right here's her address.
you know,
What's her
Bob
address
Gunn.
uptown?
Bob and Mindy Gunn.
Oh, Mindy, yeah.
Our
Yeah.
address
So
uptown.
their orchards, he's doing Pick Your Own this year.
Her address.
Our address.
I don't
It should be
know,
a, oh,
I think you probably ought to work with him because he's got people coming out of the county. And I mean,
Yeah.
that would be a great weekend to say, go pick your own, you know what I mean, that kind of thing.
Oh, find
She's
it.
been
I
there a
don't
couple
know.
times
Yeah,
also.
I don't have it in my files.
but they're not together anymore.
31,
Okay.
there it is.
But
Yep,
he's
Fox
still running
31.
that farm. So it may be something that, I mean, if you had some of your brochures there at his place, that would be
I've had some of the fruit, because Jim Day will go and get it on his way back by, and say, here, I brought you some peaches. Did you have other bills that we need to request payment for?
Not yet. Okay, I need a motion to accept the treasurer's report.
I make the motion.
Okay, Lois made the motion, I need a second.
Also,
Need a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
All opposed? Motion carried. Okay, now the guests. So,
That's me. As I said, I'm Tracy Winters. I'm working with the Historical Society here in town, and they're putting together a bicentennial book for both Salem and Wilson County for next year.
now that's the one up to John Hayson.
John Hay Center, yes, sir. The actual bicentennial committee is not doing an official publication, so they're kind of endorsing what the museum. I mean, they're Adam from the funeral home is head of that, and Adam actually sponsored this book, so we are keeping them informed of this. But it is a historical society project that is who is doing this book. So it'll be similar to this one. This is one we did for Greensburg and Decatur County. It'll be a nice hardcover, full-color book, so you can kind of flip through those if you want to. This one will be a minimum of 128 pages, but they may end up going a little over that, but it'll be at least 128. Here's some copies of the proposed cover for what this book will look like. So you can see the only difference will be on that book is we're probably looking at a vertical format instead of a horizontal format. Still be the same size, pages, and the same
About like the
same
one they
material.
come up with several years ago.
Yes. Yep.
Some on order is about that big.
Yep. Yep.
And it's sold out in Harmony.
Yeah, and for the bicentennial, it should be a popular thing. So the Historical Society is using it for a fundraiser, and so they're hoping to fund the entire project with sponsorships.
My house.
And then anything they sell, they get 1,000 copies of the books. That's what they're going to get. And any money they get from selling the books, and if it's funded by the sponsorship, it should be pure profit for them. So it'll be a fundraiser for them, be something to promote the area and the history of the county. And so I met Lowell at a chamber meeting, or talked with him at a chamber meeting a month or so ago, and he suggested I come in and talk with you guys and see if the Tourism Council would be interested in being a sponsor. You kind of see in the back of the books, there's a place where the sponsors will go. So they will be similar to that. There are various levels of sponsorship, and just keep them all
That's
kind of
the
nice
Hank.
and clean.
Back Hank, there we go. Silver, gold, bronze, that's what it's
platinum.
Yeah.
platinum.
And there's sheets you guys can look at to kind of tell the different benefits. So it starts off at the platinum level. The top two levels book it include the logo of the business organization on there. So at the platinum level is $2,500. At that level, you get 40 copies of the book. The books will retail for $40 a piece.
How much?
40 a piece is what they'll sell for. I think the pre-sale price, pre-publication price will be $35, but once they're published, it'll be $40 a piece. So you get,
The platinum is how much, Tracy?
$2,500,
And the gold is how much?
$1,000, and you get either 40 copies or 20 copies, depending on the level you go there. And a little bit difference in the number of words you get, but basically the same. You get 75 words here and 50 words here to promote what you want to say on there. So
The silver is how much?
silver goes to 500. Bronze is 250,
Bronze is 250.
and then the fringe level is 125. That's the entry level. And again,
Do they know, the bicentennial know that you're here and you're going to come by today?
the Historical Society knows. And I told, yeah, absolutely. I told them I will be here today. So yeah, and all checks go directly to the Historical Society. I'm the one who's kind of familiar with the way the book will look, so I came to represent them. But yeah, it is a Historical Society fundraising project, and they knew I was here. I told Jeff here, and I was going to be here today, and some of the other folks. So, and Kathy is on vacation from the museum actually this week, and they're well aware I was going to talk to you folks. So.
How is their fundraising thus far?
They're looking to raise $22,000 to fully fund it. At this point, they're at 12,750 is committed at this point. So over halfway there, but still a chunk to go, so 9,000 some to go on that. So they're
How long does your campaign run?
kind of just until we fill it up. I mean, so it's the book they're planning on being out with that in the spring next year, because next year is the bicentennial year, of course. And so I think the major celebration, I'm talking with Adam, is going to be in September, but they want to have the book available for any festivals and events during the summertime, and like the Friday Night in Square, those kind of things that go on. They want to have it available to sell at events leading up to the bicentennial. So we're going to try to have it done March or April is the goal for having it done. And so they've got a writing committee who's putting together. I think they're organizing the county, township by township, is how they're doing the history of each township, and then Salem will be separate since it's bicentennial for both the county and the city next year. They'll be kind of separate sections, but
How much do you think they would sell for, Tracy?
$40.
$40.
$40 book.
The initial printing would be, how many would you print?
1,000 copies.
1,000.
And then they get it'll actually be about 1,300 copies. The museum, or the Historical Society Museum gets 1,000 copies of it. And then the sponsors all get copies. Those do not come out of the museum's copies, so we will print additional copies for sponsors for their, depending on the level they get from 1 to 20 or 30 books, depending on what level they do. And then we will print additional copies for those sponsorship books. So there'll be, I guess, maybe 1,300 or so total printed, but the museum gets 1,000.
You want to get a copy of each of these for the minutes? Or for your,
Yeah, have that.
Just
Have
to
a copy of the
keep
cover there, so you can kind of see what, and that's a proposed cover. They pretty much like the look of that one. It may vary a little bit, but it'll be
that's
similar.
very pretty.
Yeah, thanks. So, I was here just to ask on behalf of the Historical Society if you guys would be interested in sponsoring at some level. So,
I don't know what everyone thinks, but I'd like to have some time to look at it, maybe discuss it, and then decide what level we might consider.
Is there a time frame you want to rent?
there is not. I mean, when do you guys meet again?
We need
Monthly?
next
Yeah,
month.
that's fine. I mean, that's not a problem. So,
Let me ask this question.
Absolutely.
In preparation for our discussion.
yep.
Have you ever had an organization that represents other businesses that instead of having their own logo in there, actually talked about the businesses that they represent?
The Community Foundation is one of they took a platinum level sponsorship here in town, and instead of, I think they're going to go with just a real simple, and they asked if it would be okay if they could do something a little different rather than just have the listing here. They would like to use a little photograph there, just of community life here in the county, and then they're going to have the name of they're going to have Worcester County Community Foundation, and just their phone number. Keep it real simple.
Right.
They're going to kind of promote the life here. So, but yeah, I mean, you are free to do whatever you want to with that
Okay.
space. So,
Okay.
we even have some folks who are doing individual sponsorships, and they're like for a family, and they're saying, proud to be able to raise our family here in the county and have the names of kids and grandkids in there. So, it's yours to do with what you want to, absolutely. So yeah, if you'd want to put in information, since you're the tourism council, about things to do, a place to stay, or what, events or whatever in the back of there, say, and keeping in mind that this will be a long-term project, so it's not going to be, you wouldn't want to promote one-time, promote just general things that are available here in the county. So,
Well, like
yeah.
we represent beds,
Right.
right? Hotels, and bed
Absolutely.
and breakfasts, and stuff like that.
Yep.
And so, in my mind, that's who we should be promoting, not
Yep.
ourselves as an entity.
Absolutely.
So, and you only have 2 of the platinum, and already one's full, your son. So we only have 1 left.
Well, I have talked with those who are interested in that level. We have others who are interested in that platinum level. All are okay with sharing that a little bit. They said, we just want to do that, just kind of keep it limited, and also encourage folks to go ahead and get on
Sure.
board with the project.
Sure.
At this point, we have several out there considering that platinum level sponsorship, and I still talked to ones who have already either signed up, or those who are very interested. And they said, we're okay with having additional folks on board that are going to help out the museum. That's why they're sponsoring anyway.
Great.
So there could well be If there are, we will notify everybody before we actually take those and say, are you guys okay with having 3 or 4 be at this level instead of just 2?
Yeah.
And so far, those who are interested said, sure, we're that can help.
Good, good.
And especially since one of them is the foundation, it's not another business, it's somebody who's trying to help the community at large, as you guys would be. So I don't think any of the businesses who are looking at that level would be upset if, we have an agency who is trying to help out business in general, or the logic and the truth you guys are, there's not going to be any issues with that. But yeah, we did put a maximum on those to try to keep it somewhat limited. So that was the goal.
Make it exclusive.
Absolutely. That's I think looking at being more of a guideline than a hard and fast rule at this point, but still it will be limited. Yeah, we're not going to keep it open-ended. And I think what the goal is, once we've gone through this first round of people who we've presented the offer to, once they'll respond, if it does fill up, if we end up with 3 there, then we'll close it off. We'll approach any new businesses to get in that level.
Right.
But those who are already pros, if they decide to go to that level, we're going to go and allow them to, so that we make it fair for everybody who is giving that opportunity in the first place. So.
Very good.
Oh, yeah, here it is. I'm sorry, I asked you the level, and here's.
Yeah, that has the levels there, and the prices, and the numbers, the goals that we're shooting for at each level, and how many copies of the book you get, so everything is on there.
Yeah, I saw it in there.
Oh, go ahead, Richard.
Me personally, I'm gonna abstain because I got a lot to do with the historical society and I know where he's coming from. I do know the last book to be printed, it sold for like $40. And I was in an auction the other day, and you can't get the other book. It sold for $160.
You're kidding.
Oh, my.
And if you can find out that there is people that wants that book, well, they never did reprint it. You just didn't have the money to do it. So, do you all want to just take and table it for next month? Do a little research on it.
It's
up to you.
I personally, my decision made up. This fits tourism to the T, and promoting the county, and promoting the treasures of the county, my vote will be the same next month as it is now.
Well, that's the way.
And,
if I was going to vote, well, I'll tell you what I'll do. If I was
Someone
going to
can make a
vote,
motion, or what you
Well,
think, and then we can second, and we can discuss, and then we can.
Okay. Well, I'd make a motion, and we have the money in the account. I'd make a motion that we purchase a platinum sponsorship to support this, and that's a $2,500 fee. We have how much? $11,000 in it, and $11,574 in a treasure. And I think of the organization, we should be the strongest supporter of.
okay, Lowell has made a motion to purchase the platinum for $2,500. Do I have a second?
I second it.
Okay, is there any discussion?
What do you think, Hank?
I'm with you.
Well, here's my discussion, and I'm going to voice it, and I'm not going to vote. I think the 43 copies, we ought to take and give them to the museum, the Historical Society, and let them take, because they're sort of like, like donations, stuff like that's how they operate. Well, if they give 43 copies to us, and then, what are we going to do with it? So if they can sell the 43 copies,
Yeah, and I like that idea, but I also think we ought to give a couple copies to the library.
yeah, it wouldn't hurt to give a couple to them. But I mean, like the most of them,
And is there a library in City Hall? I don't know. Is there a library in the county offices? I don't know.
we've got a public library, so,
Well, I think once this is in publication released, and we can then determine then we want to distribute it to them.
Yeah.
I'm with you because one to every school, one to all the community libraries. If they don't purchase one, make them available. They already may have a source for them anyway.
I believe that we should give a copy, at least one copy, to the organizations that pay in to,
Yeah.
So we
like the
get-
bed and breakfasts.
That's what I did.
At least
well, we could
one.
probably get
Just
rid
to
of
have
them.
them available
We
to
get-
people. on
we
the
get
table.
40
And then if
copies.
we got anything left over, like, I agree with Lois there, like giving the bed and breakfasts.
Yep.
Yep.
And then if we got any left over, you know, like the library and maybe the school libraries, because that'd just be 3 of them. Then if we got any left over, just let the historical society.
Well,
Well, bed and
Well, we
breakfast,
don't-
you could have one in each room.
And we don't have to,
Right underneath
decide
the
how
Gideon.
well we're gonna do with it.
No, we
Right
can talk
now.
about that.
Wouldn't want to put it on top of that, that'd be bad, but
Even as the
We've got a
agency
motion
can
on the
sell
floor,
them, make money for us.
and we got a second. All in favor?
All right.
All
There
opposed?
you go.
There you go.
thank you very much, I really appreciate it, guys, and it'll be a neat project. We've got some time on getting your ad put together, so kind of, that can be your discussion too, is what you want to say back there and how you want to use that, so just think about that. And this will be a similar space, however, do keep in mind that it's probably going to be the vertical format, so it'll be a little bit different shape. You'll have about half a page of what you'll have, but it'll be a different format than that'll be, so than the sample is.
Half
So
a page to get creative with.
get creative,
And we've got a real creative board member.
okay? That's
Actually,
good.
we're not a board, we're a bureau, so we got a
Okay.
real creative bureaucrat.
Yeah, we'd like to talk to you too about here with it.
Right, now I will talk with you another time. So.
I looked at the schools as 6 because they all have elementary library and a high school library. So, but anyway, that would
We
be a
can
fun
figure
part
out
of
who
it,
all
is
got
even
what.
I'm sure you'll find lots of
Right.
good
Yep.
places to put those books at, so yeah, absolutely.
And have one in your room, like you have a Gideon Bible in your.
Or a common seating area. so
That's
we
what
don't take
yeah, it'd be
too
nice
many
to do that,
out.
so.
I'm excited. Next
Well,
year.
appreciate you coming out.
Well, thank
Thank
you
you.
for having us, and thanks for the support, I really appreciate it,
I'd
guys.
love to
So-
see you. Oh, if
Thanks
you're
a lot,
up there at
Tracy.
the museum, I love to catch you.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else comes up that we can help you with? we'll let you
Lowell, I
know.
appreciate it, thanks very much.
Okay. Will you be back down again?
Oh, I'm here often, so I'm here a couple times a week, so I'll probably be in on Friday, and then be here a couple times next week too, so.
Okay.
I'll be around, but I'll give you a
we'll
call,
get
and
you.
let you know when you're free, we'll talk, so.
That'd be fine.
Okay, next we get down
Oh,
to
thanks.
old business. We got the
Have a good
brochures
evening, guys.
in.
Thanks, you too.
Take care,
Really-
Tracy.
I mean, really love
will.
that.
Thank you.
I'm already giving them out.
Take a few.
Guests have come and they've taken them
Oh,
and used them.
well, yeah.
Well, I've got-
As soon as we get a rainy day, I'm gonna take and deliver a bunch of them in different counties. Okay, next thing is the chamber request. It's been floating around for like couple, 3 months.
Speaking of which, have we given these to her, to the chamber office?
Yeah,
Okay, because she just put in an expense report where she went around, you might want to check with her. She's gone and put some brochures out because the state was, she had gotten a report that they were out of them.
Yeah, it's on her thing of what she says she was gonna do.
yeah.
But, yes, and she just, like I said, just filed an expense report for that, so you might want to check before you take the,
Who's out of them?
And on
There
things
was,
like
I
that,
guess, that company
she's
that
doing
was,
something on our behalf, she really ought to go through us.
Yeah.
I think we need to determine what all we want, and when Anita's doing something such as that, I mean, it's good, but I think she should come, we should know it, so we don't have duplication. And there may be times we want to do it so that we are actually more visible. I mean, I think that's what I hear most about tourism, is that, what do they do? Who's on it? What are they, that kind of thing.
right.
Well, that's why I think if we could, I feel bad about this because this is my thoughts, but unfortunately Friday night on the square, we're going to be setting up out here and even have that thing up there. I've got to have somebody else operate it. But we need visibility, and that's why to show that we are an active, viable group.
That's right.
But
So the challenge there
I'll get a copy of that for the.
is,
Okay.
if we're only
Well,
meeting
if
once
you're
a
up at the
month,
museum, just have Kathy.
and
just make
she's
a copy.
reacting to the
Okay.
news and she hears and
She
she knows
doesn't.
there's a
Oh,
vacuum.
We have email on the phone.
She's not trying to undercut anybody.
All right.
She's just doing it for the betterment of the county. But-
Well, and she may
So she
use
doesn't
the
send it out to
old
like
habits.
a mass email to everybody and
Well, I
just,
think we need to decide how we want to handle that. Probably an email to you, to the president. We're talking about Anita when she's got something that needs to be done. Should she just email the president or email, have it as a group? I mean, it may be that it's best to the president and you kind of decide if it's something you want to bring back or you want to consult with everybody, I don't know.
and Richard, I'll tell you how we do it at the chamber, right? Because we actually do meet twice a month. And even then, we have stuff that comes in between those 2 weeks that
Right.
needs to get done, right? And so what she'll do is she'll contact me. I'll send out to everybody, well, you've seen these before because you're on the board as well. It's called an e-vote. We are a state entity. We're not a 501c3, and we can't do an e-vote because we are a state entity. We have to have open door
Right.
policy. So, again, one of the reasons why we thought that the chamber office helping to execute the activities of the tourism bureau is because we only meet once a month and things need to get done throughout the month. Now, either we give somebody the authority to do it, and if it's not the chamber, it could be somebody else. It really doesn't matter to me. But you become a much more effective organization if you've got somebody with a daily face. And if we, we could put out ground rules, we can put out, this is the expectations, this is what needs to be done. We can have anybody we contract with, make sure they keep track of their hours, make sure we understand what we're paying for, that kind of thing. But I think it would go a long way, to your point, of making sure that we're seen as being viable, doing this on behalf of the Tourism Bureau.
Something we talked about in July, I can't remember if you were here, I think you were.
No.
We talked about
I was in
having
Vermont,
a visitor
unfortunately.
center or a welcome center.
Yep.
And there are a lot of ways you could do that if we had a location and then you had, there are a lot of people who would gladly volunteer. But even with volunteerism, you've got to have someone to coordinate it, and then you have to have procedure. I think something like that is very needed. I look at other communities, what they have, and they have that. Richard, you were going around visiting. I think it would behoove us to visit other counties and see what they're doing. I don't think it should be a long, drawn-out process, but I think we need to be doing that.
Which I know, I've been over Scott County, and Scott County, the chamber and the tourism go right together and they work together. And they got a real good working relationship.
Well, and like using the chamber, I guess I have mixed feelings on it. On one hand, if she's really busy, then we're going to be pulling her away from what she's really doing. And as it is, she's got the brochures there. She's got an office. People can come and go. We don't have any directional signs to tell us, hey, I'm a visitor in the community. Where can I go? So if we were going to consider her doing it or someone else, there are a lot of ground, like you said, kind of ground rules, procedures we need to lay out. How's it going to look? Because I don't want it to just be a haphazard, oh, well, I'm really not tourism, but I do all their work. Well, that's not effective for her or us. So, Lois, you have a thought? I can see you're thinking. I'm
No,
thinking.
well, and the other,
Thank you.
and the other thing, I think you're absolutely right. And the other thing is once the hotel's getting built, now, I gotta read the statute again. We're not allowed to pay for salary, are we? We can only contract.
Yeah, we can pay,
In the statute, we're not allowed to pay ourselves.
you were
but
going
we
to
can-
give us
we can-
some paperwork on that and
That
you had your back
statute,
trouble.
yeah,
If you
it's
could
out on the
bring that,
web.
that'd be helpful.
Yeah,
Or tell me what is it
Where
we
is
need to
it
look
at?
at?
just on the state site.
Statute.
If you go out to the state of
Oh, I did
Indiana,
go to the state and did that.
in.gov,
Yeah.
they have, I just can't remember what the statute's called, but if you search on tourism,
And what's the lady's name? She was in town recently. Who's in charge of the tourism part?
well, Becky Skillman used to be. She's now in Radius, and that's another one I want to bring up. Is Radius has just put together? Well, I'm sorry, we're off the subject.
We'll come back to that.
Yeah. Although, well, it's kind of on the subject because the fact that we did not have a face in this community, we did not get invited to this board. A guy in Jasper is heading it up, a guy by the name of Kevin Manley. But it's basically all the counties represented by, all the counties' tourism people are all together in one board now
Right.
that is being supported and got organized by Radius. Except for us in Crawford County. I think we're the only two counties that do not have somebody sitting on the board.
But they would probably add us.
Yeah.
I mean, if
Well,
we
actually,
bring
as a matter of
it up.
fact, Anita's already been following up on it. She found out about it, let me know, about a week ago, I think, week and a half ago. I don't know if she...
Which what she's trying to do, see, the way Washington County has been for years, anything south of 40 don't even exist.
Anything south of what?
40.
But if
Some
every
down
Yes,
county
there.
40.
has someone,
Uh,
they're fixing it.
No, so this is all Radius. So this is DuBois County, this is Orange County's involved.
Yeah,
this
but they hadn't been involved in years, Hank,
Right.
until just right now.
Right.
And you have to give Becky Skillman credit for that.
Well,
But you go back in history years ago and anything south of 40
Right.
didn't exist.
so actually there was a guy before Becky that helped set up Radius. And the whole idea is a 69, 65, 64 triangle, right? And we've got Crane in there, we've got some, military. So they're trying to develop that tri-corridor section of counties into a new economic development arm. Yeah, and the casino, with the Cook Company, helps to fund quite a bit of it, right? So they're getting basically the turnstile. Every time the turnstile, revolves, the casino is giving money to Radius. And that's how they're getting their funding. So the better they do, the more people go into the casino.
I'd like for us to do
The more money they
that
get.
radius or give them permission to call.
Yeah.
And tourism obviously is a big one. And you're right, it is near and dear to Becky Skillman because when she was in state
Yeah,
government,
there's
that
a
was
new
one of
person
her.
involved too. I don't know all about this, but it's been a few weeks.
Joe Timberlake is the guy who's with Radius, works for Becky, but he's been coming into this community quite a bit. And he's helped us reorganize the Economic Growth Partnership, which is, completely new board. It's completely new, or at least changed bylaws that have term limits and
Has someone been, are you
stuff like
hiring
that.
someone for that position?
Yes, we're in the process of doing an executive search right now.
So, I say this at the risk of getting totally whatever off the agenda, but we need to get somebody from the board here to represent us on this countywide committee of Radius. Is that because, say, we're not represented and Crawford County is
Right,
not?
that's correct.
And do you know the process we need to get?
Anita's following up on that.
Okay, Anita's following.
Yep. She's trying to find out what the criteria is and how we can get representation.
Go ahead and follow her up on it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd have an interest in it. But I think we definitely need to do bigger things as a board.
Right.
Let me see, is that the new brochures, Richard?
Yeah, that's the only guy that gets his brochures.
I guess, my concern on the whole chamber thing is, to me, the whole need is unidentified. What they do is unidentified, and to just write a check for $2,000 to someone. I mean, it looks like we have a lot of money, but we don't. If we start doing the things we should be doing, we don't have much money. I mean, I've talked with other boards, and they're 10 times what we have in money.
What did you have in mind that we're, looking to spend money on?
Well, one was figuring out how to do a visitor center, having it manned, someone who, whether we have someone who's kind of officially in charge of tourism, the director, they would answer to us, but they do the clerical. I think it would be nice to find someone and we just pay them by the job or by the amount of time it takes them. But then you have time to see what it's costing you, what you're doing.
Be nice if we could have that little storefront up on the south side of the square next to Tom Seifel's office.
Well, and we might have discussions with, I mean, you're both on the chamber, so it makes it kind of awkward, but I think there should be more representatives, whether it's Anita. How would it look if we did something in the interim? I don't want to do something that's a permanent commitment. And I think that there's too much intertwined to where we don't look like our own group.
Yeah.
So that's what I want to,
Still okay to work and partner with people, but still have our own
Absolutely.
personal identity.
Personally, yeah, I told her I think she's crazy to even want to consider something like that or ask us to consider. Most people have a hard enough time working for one board because you got so many
Oh, wow.
personalities on that board, you know? Imagine working for two. I wouldn't take it. But anyway, you weren't here last time.
right.
This vote, I already told, I'm not going to be voting in it. I would abstain as president of the chamber. I can't do it.
Right.
However, I do think that our entity needs feet on the ground. Now, whether it's, we need feet on the ground. We need somebody who's focused on this at least part-time. You know, I get way too much credit for the chamber, and I don't know if you probably know. I mean, 6 years ago, the chamber was $10,000 in back taxes,
Right.
had a half a
35
board.
members.
The events were, going down the toilet. Now, I get a lot of credit for it, but Anita deserves a lot of that credit. And she's the one that really has put the feet on the ground and has really
Well,
been
and
the
she
face.
shows how, no matter what a board does, because you meet twice a month, there's day to day. And when there's not, then there's a lot of gap.
Yeah.
And,
We're the only public meeting that any chamber does in our surrounding area, in our whole region. And we get, 30, 40 people
Yeah.
a month come into those?
We usually host a meeting here every March, and maybe we will this fall, but we have 35 people in here.
I've been to several.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
the meetings when my store's open, so kind of hard now, but you were gonna say something.
I have a concern. In her proposal, she listed the dates. The contract is for July through December. That's 13. Okay, I read it wrong. No, July. Yeah, that's just 6 months for $2,000. Well, if we continue this, that's going to be a total of $4,000 per year.
I would only be in agreement to do anything if we did it on a
Job to job.
billable basis, right?
Right. Well, and
And I'm
any
not
proposal
against
is subject to negotiation, right? I do this for a living. So you always put a proposal out there. You could come to find out, based on billable hours, that, with everything that gets executed throughout the year, the problem is we're starting at ground zero, we don't know, right? It could be that you'll find out, well, we're only paying her $2 an hour to do our stuff, you know what I mean? But I agree, I think, and this is what my comment was when this thing was first brought up, is that she should track her time of what she's doing. She should work, when she answers the phone, it should be Washington County Chamber of Commerce and Tourism. You know what I mean? So that there is, immediately that face. We develop letterhead that goes out here. All this stuff like billing and invoicing and all that can go into her. All this following up on the guides and stuff like that, she can be doing, but she needs to track her time. And we need to understand exactly where the time is going.
I think she's okay with that.
If she's going to be accountable, I agree. And I have absolutely no problem wearing the tourism hat and not the chamber
I
hat.
just think, when I look at what others are doing, I think we're better to be a separate entity. And I think we ought to investigate, what would that look like? What does it mean we have to commit to and do? And if you do go with someone, whether it's, if you're deciding to pay someone, Anita or someone else, that means we've got to increase our, revenue.
Yep.
Well,
That has to happen first, and the hotel's coming down the pike, so we know it's gonna be there. The chamber has also had a goal, long-term goal, just so you know, of having a visitor center. Now, you haven't been in this very long, but several years ago, the chamber, the city council, the county commissioners, and the mayor all got together and asked the chamber to take over the duties of the Economic Growth Partnership. And the chamber refused. The chamber said, it's not our place to take somebody else's role. But in that same statement, and it's a documented statement, I don't know if it's out on the website, we need to make sure it is out there. But the chamber's position at the time was, we will fill any vacuum. If stuff's not happening that we know needs to happen for the county, we'll do it if we've got the resources to do it. So if the
And I think
Tourism
that's
Bureau,
a good way to look at it.
if the Tourism Bureau starts getting a lot more effective, like the way you're driving,
To where
then
we should,
we really need to be letting the chamber know and say, look,
we shouldn't be doing
Anita,
like
you need to
that's
back off on
permanent.
this because we're gonna be taking it over now, and I'm
We
sure
want
she'll
to,
have no
yeah.
problem with that.
I guess that's my desire, would be that we would
Right.
desire to grow.
And I think that's great. I think that's taking leadership.
it,
But I don't think it's been the case all the time, you know what I mean?
Oh, right. Well, just like you had a reputation to overcome, and you still are overcoming, we'll have the same thing.
That's right.
yeah, the Pennington lady was a tourism, or not tourism, but the chamber lady for years, Ronnie Pennington's wife. I can't think, she works for John Jones now, but she was for years. And they had 32, 35 members. I was a member for 3 or 4 years and got nothing from them. I paid my dues and really didn't see this doing anything for us.
Problem with it,
But,
so.
so look,
Is there room in the same area of the county courthouse or somewhere where we didn't have to pay for a location or could share?
Right. Right now, Anita's desk obviously is in City Hall.
Right.
They just put a 4th desk in there for Greg Pitzlaw, who's the city's economic director. And I don't see any place in City Hall unless we put somebody down in the basement, which is cool in the summer.
so is Anita really needing more room? She pretty cramped.
And the dream, you talk to a lot of politicians that care about the community, their dream is still to see the 3 entities get back together again. Kind of
Yes.
like the way they are in Scottsburg or even in Clark County. One Southern has got, now the tourism is separate in Clark
Oh,
County.
yeah, right, that's a
But
nice.
the chamber and the economic development are together. The tourism is right there by Second Street Bridge. It's
Right.
beautiful.
Yeah, I
So,
went in there. Okay.
But anyway, so to get those 3 entities together, and then, the one I was looking at is Scott Martin's old building
Who?
on the west side of the square.
What building?
The one where Public Square Garden used to be in. Just right down from the apothecary.
There's a vacant center there. It used
What's
to be
it
a
called?
public defender.
Newkirk building, yeah.
Yeah.
Used to be a public defender building. Mark Clark was in there. That
Would
location.
you like us to have?
Yeah.
No, it's next to it, it's where.
Yeah.
Judge
I know where it is. But
It's the tan brick building, yeah.
Uh,
So, but we know we're not,
Anita,
could,
and the other, which other group did you said? three?
economic growth.
Economic growth. Now, is that economic growth of Washington County or Salem?
It's Washington County.
Okay.
Now, the city has their own right now.
It just seems maybe representatives, a couple from each group ought to sit down and just have a discussion, what's our vision? Because if we
So-
don't know what their vision is,
So in the past, they were all together. And then they got disjointed for whatever reason. I don't know, that was before my time.
they could give us some history and
they were in one building there next to the library, and the library bought that building, tore it down, made a parking lot out of it.
Yeah, that was Chamber, wasn't it?
Chamber and Economic Growth.
Yeah,
I thought at one time Julie was doing both.
yeah.
She was.
Well, I think it's, and you're right, we say we have money, this money could go pretty quickly, but then, again, I mean, we're gonna have more money coming in, the new motel, but I'm reluctant to fantasize how much we might get. I wanna count my chickens
right.
before the eggs are hatched, or whatever that saying is. We know more money's gonna be available to us next year. Will it be enough to cover rental and fulfill our partnership with another organization to get a storefront like over on the west side? I forgot about Public Bargains building storefront being available.
Right.
But I think it's a great thing to look forward to. What do you think, Richard? Where we could have our own location, own place, storefront, Washington County Tourism Bureau and Washington Chamber of Commerce. Through one door.
Right.
That would be good, I
And
think.
the Economic Growth Partnership
Altogether.
is a 501c3, so they can get grant money for that kind of entity. I think it's an arguable grant expenditure to build up economic growth in this community. If you have a welcome center that people can come to, and now that they've been reorganized, I think it's a lot more positive organization that's really starting to take steps. They're doing goal setting. They're starting to drive forward with positive, effective steps. So we're going to see a lot get done. So in terms of Anita, though, in terms of the current subject and the things that she can do for this organization, do we want to do just a contract by contract? If there's an action that we've identified that needs to be done, and we don't feel like any one of us are going to take on that action, is that the only way we would? I'm just saying, just to make sure we get stuff done. I mean, you guys might
Like
feel
when
like
you look at the $4,000 a year, that's $333 a month.
right.
And if you were paying someone $10 to make it easy an hour, that'd be 33 hours a month. That's a lot. I don't know if she is or isn't doing it because there's a lot of overlap. But for accountability's sake, and if she's doing that much, that's getting into her other job. So I mean, I think it's something we need to. I think your idea of just paying it job by job, but not doing it and then charging us consulting, like you said. Do we want to do this, or do we want someone else to do it?
Right.
That'd be the only way I'd be.
I think for the moment, to get us through until 18 months down the road, when we might be in a position to take more responsibilities to go with. I mean, like Hank, I'm on the board for the chamber, so I'm thinking maybe it would be your all's decision. Like you, I mean,
Right.
we're in the same boat more or less, so it's up to you. And of course, John's not here to defend himself. And I saw him this morning at Donna's, and he said, "Well, this afternoon, 5 o'clock." Yeah.
Well, that's the only challenge. You and I abstain. There's no quorum. John has to be here.
Yeah, John's got to be here.
John.
Well, does anyone have an interest? There's two things I'm thinking. In visiting some other, I mean, we could divide them up, or we could travel together. Lois, if you want to, like, we could go out to Orange County and some other surrounding Lawrence County, visit,
Take a field trip.
see how they do it. I don't know who has an interest, but gather information.
Yeah.
And then the other thing would be, well, I forgot.
Well, you know, Anita has brought all those folks in
Uh-huh.
to our community too. And she's done it in order, for her, it was a way of getting people more information to do referrals.
Yeah, the other one was consider a group gathering where we could just brainstorm, just to see where everybody is and kind of what we'd like to see. I mean, this big anniversary coming up is huge. And it'd be nice if we were organized and able to put on a really good
Right.
good
If we had
face.
people from the outside referring people in here.
Just
Another place you might want to go since you're here Washington County's got their big bicentennial
Yes.
going on.
Well, I think we should be, and I've mentioned it before, the Chamber, the Economic Growth Partnership, and the tourism, we all should meet quarterly and just sit down at a nice dinner and say, and hey, boy, this is what we're working on, this is what we've accomplished, this is what we're looking at. Everybody share, to kind of not have a formal meeting, but a round table of sharing what we have, and every meeting is going to bond us a little better together. Nobody's got anything to hide or anything, but just start establishing a dialogue of sharing. We all want the same thing, but we all have a little bit of responsibility of what our job functions, what our mission, to the mission of our individual organization.
Exactly.
But we all can work together. I mean, you can't over-communicate.
Oh, right. Well, and like Anita doing things for us, if it's not gonna get done, or there's no one, not a go-to, what do? You do it. So it's not like she's usurping authority or, but is that the best use of our money, and is that the best way for us to grow? And that's what I'm looking at. Because I look at, it's a curse and a blessing, but I look at the big picture and then start going backwards to put things in place to get to where you wanna go.
No, and speaking of that, it occurred to me, and I still think we should do this. But one of the things that I think we need to do for our own sake is do a budget. We know about how much we're going to get in every year. We also know what we support in the years past. Is there any way, Lowell, and I know you've got a lot on your plate, but is there any way we can just do, now, a lot of stuff is just one-offs.
Yeah.
You know, like the bicentennial, for example, we're not going to do that book next year, or the year after, or the year after. So that's not on the budget, but just the stuff that we had like a benchmark. You know, typically we're spending what, I don't know, I'm just gonna throw 7,000 out there a year on all this stuff that we typically support year in and year out. And then the other thing, we did this, when I first came on the board, one of the things that I wanted to know was what our mission statement was, right? And I think what we came up with was, not to make it too light of it, but basically was to put heads in beds, right? So the events that we should be supporting are events that, you know, people may be staying over for, right? They're traveling, you know, and they may stay overnight, because our key stakeholders are our bed and breakfast, our hotels, that's how we're making our money, and that's who we should be.
If we have enough other good stuff that, like, the website's the next thing to talk about, if we're not promoting what's going on,
Right.
then we're not, and I think we're just behind because we're learning our roles, and I think we need to do a lot more there. You want to move on, go down.
Yeah, one more thing. Let me start on the budget and have a very rough sketch of one by next meeting. And let me start on a mission statement. And yeah, I got a lot, but let me put together some.
Heads and beds, so many.
Yeah.
Put my foot in my mouth. But let me work on some mission statements, Richard. Because I've got a mission statement for here. I've got a mission statement for the airport that I put together, and let me work up on that. If that's okay, if that with you, Richard, and everybody,
That'd be fine.
and the budget. I can go back and try to pull out as much financial information I can from the previous year and a half, 2 years.
Well, when I went to the Indiana Tourism, and it's been probably a month ago, and I'm doing so many things, but I know they have people who will come and train us. They'll inform us what we should be doing, what we could be doing, how to grow. I think something like that would be very, very effective.
Why didn't you set that up while you were there?
And, well, when I get in here and research it, I will, what did he say? I don't know.
Why don't you set that up? Why didn't you set that up while you were there?
Well, and if we do, if we decide to have a work session of this board, I would be glad to host it at no charge at my place.
Have somebody come down to stay.
Had someone, not to stay, but, I mean, have us
Oh, here.
go there to sit and eat and meet and just have a nice setting to be able to really brainstorm and everything.
Just give me a date, I'll be there.
Okay? But I'll check into it and I'll make a report back to the board next meeting.
Okay.
Okay, Mark York's website. Nice enough to make a motion or not to do it. Because, to be honest with you, the only reason Mark is not updating the web page is overboard. I mean, and I don't have time to do it. About every one of you don't have time to do it. Diane, when she was on, she had time and and there's a thing where you get on there and you can add it yourself.
Well, yeah, if we get administrative access code.
We
to it.
do have all that.
We do?
And I've had that, and you had, but I had it before I was even officially on the board. I was like, because Diane was, I guess she knew I was going to be asked to be on the board, and then, but I haven't had a clue what we're supposed to be doing. So I met with Mark because I'd said I would, and then I'm sorry, last month I had a meeting in Louisville and I didn't get home till 6:30. I had my stuff in the car, but it didn't work out. But I met with him for that, and he came prepared with a list. I don't know where it started, where it ended, but I would say when I look at the site, I'm going to use him to do mine because I like what's done on ours so much. And he's easy to work with.
Yes, he is.
And he begs for stuff, but I don't know, I don't, like you, where did it start? Where do the calendars come from? And I don't mind being his contact if I know what I'm supposed to be contacting about. I think that's the thing. Diane quit right when a calendar was created, but he never was given the go-ahead to do anything. I think we ought to have him come so we can all ask him questions. Because I focus more on my stuff. He gave me this to present last month, and then I wasn't here.
And we basically owe him.
And he is more than happy to do all of it.
Yeah.
And us not even, we have the ability and the right to go in and add them ourselves. But he says, I'll do it. And if we want to negotiate a lower price, then tell him we'll stay on, but we'd like to do 50 a month because we don't have high volume.
Well, that's one of my thoughts
That's
too,
my thought,
because my website here for the museum is about around 40 a month. And Dan is on to me all the time about new stuff, you know. We got this airplane back in January, and I wanted to put together something, and he knows about it. He has mentioned it, but I haven't put together much details for the history of it. But that was really my biggest thing, is that there was a cheaper websites out there than $75, and I've not got a bill from him or anything. Or you
Yeah,
got-
he's been giving bills, but even that's been confusing. We gave one for 150 the last,
Yes.
I gave it
Okay,
to you.
just-
And
Now,
that's
he used to
for,
send it to me, and I don't know where he sent it.
I don't know what, I think when Diane left, everything kind of,
well,
this was for July.
That's July.
so is this one due?
Yes, it should be.
Yes, and he would have another one. But I guess the other thing, my question was, you voted not to renew, but what was our plan to move forward? And the startup cost of a new website that was paid, and that it takes to get to where you go, that would be my concern.
Well,
Until we know what we're gonna do you really want it to stop midstream and not have a smooth transition?
it should, in other words, we could do this correctly by Robert's Rules of Order. We send last month's motion to dissolve our relationship with Mark York and to continue the contract.
Or we could even say, to maintain status quo, have him come and present to us, and then I'd like us to make a proposal of what we'd like,
Yeah.
and if he's willing to do it for a lower price. Why not?
Yeah, that was my concern, is that it was the price I thought was,
Well, I don't think we have very much volume, even if you were given dates every month. I don't see that as a major.
So one of the things, and I mentioned this last meeting, and I'll repeat myself, one of the things that I think is important is that our treasurer's reports and our meeting notes go out on the website for public view.
agreed.
You're concerned that they don't do that now, and you want them to, or you're concerned that they need to be more thorough?
I'm concerned that we need to appear more, we need to be perceived as being more transparent. And the only way to do that is be totally transparent.
No,
And
that's,
so,
Well, I didn't know
because there's a lot of
these meetings went
there's a lot
on.
of misconception. A lot of people think we're sitting on hundreds of thousands of dollars,
Oh, gee.
and we're just holding back and we're not spending anything. And I think we should be and actually, one of those documents out there could be a log of, this is what we gave money to this month, this is what we gave money to this month, how much, and let everybody see exactly, what our efforts are going.
Well, just like the minutes, if you develop a budget and then you have a monthly report, like you do, but just make it into one that is handed out,
Yep.
that becomes a part of the official record.
Yeah. Now, the challenge
And
is,
you're not duplicating.
right, so the meeting, the July meeting gets ratified, gets passed in August. And it's after that August meeting when it gets passed, that's when it
That's
can get
when it should
published.
go.
Yeah.
And
Can
really,
that get
the
published
meeting,
before that? Yeah.
taped meeting should not be published until then either, is that
Right.
correct?
Right, but we should get these out there. And the only reason, two things. One is to be transparent. The other thing though is great archives. And if you wanted to scan all your bills and stuff like that and put them in, put them out there, that way, heaven forbid that, somebody leaves them at a bus stop and then takes off and, that everything, disappears somehow. I'm not gonna come up with any huge catastrophe, but if everything's out there on a backup server digitally, then whoever comes on the board next will know right where to go in order to catch up.
Sounds like we need a technology person.
Well, I think Mark.
We have everything. I just don't.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. Bring Mark in, and we'll ask him to do that.
Okay.
I mean, that's one of the criterias that I had for
And
when
have it on
we
our
created the new
our
website for
That's a good,
right.
yes.
The chamber website is like that, and that
Well,
was
but everybody needs to also, we'll try to invite him for the next meeting, but we should think of questions that we
Yep.
have.
yeah.
Because
Okay.
we're all gonna have something different. And
So
my
who's gonna-
website
are you gonna invite him?
actually, I'll let Richard, unless he asks me to.
Okay.
But I think my website actually has a printable brochure, and look how much that saves us on cost.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's
You can
too
click
bad.
on the brochure and print it.
Yep.
I think I've got Mark's email.
I do, he's got two different ones.
Well, I think I've got some of it saved, so I'll invite him to our next meeting.
I think it's on his,
Yeah, it's on his website.
okay, it's not on there.
And our application for grants could be on there too.
Do you want to do an official motion on that, so we don't,
Yeah, I do official motions, what she just
Lowell
said.
made a.
what he said?
motion
You
to
said
said.
rescind it.
Just what you just.
To invite
Or rescind,
Mark
yeah,
over.
yeah. I'd make a motion that we rescind last month's motion to dissolve the contract with Mark York Design
Until we have something else, I guess.
and
Okay,
continue.
we've got a motion on the floor to rescind last month's motion on the web thing.
Yeah, whatever.
Second?
I'll second.
Okay. Any second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, and then I'll get a hold of Mark and invite him to our next meeting. Okay,
Did you get a tent?
yeah.
Did you already purchase it?
Yes, we do, and it's a fold-up tent, and it's at, they're storing it for us in the basement of City Hall. I just gotta get a table and chairs. Where are we at now, Richard?
Oh, a request for money.
Bills.
Yeah, same as. This is Friends of Baxmell coming in and, Gary Hawthorne brought this to me. It's dated August 16th, 2013, says to who it may concern on the Worcester County Tourism Board. The Board of Baxmell has purchased new brochures. The cost was $400 for 5,000 brochures. We are hoping for help with reimbursement money. The Tourism Board would be so kind to grant this. Thank you for your continued support of history of Baxmell. Sincerely, Raymond Lee, President, Friends of Baxmell Board. And they've already paid for it.
What, they've already paid for what?
They've already paid for the brochures, and they want us to take and reimburse them back for whatever we want to.
How much was it for?
$400 is what the bill was for.
Okay, our last donation to Beck's Mill was on August the 8th of last year for $730.
And that was for brochures too.
Brochures, but that, they're requesting,
Less, almost half as much.
um,
They're requesting how much?
400.
$400. It is something, I'm saying it reluctantly because I was president for 3 years, but then I'm no longer associated with it, so I think I can feel openly to voice my opinion, but I think we should. It is tourism, without a doubt. And I make a motion that we pay the $400 requested.
Wall has made a motion, we take and pay the $400 to Becksville for their brochures. Do I have a second?
Anybody has,
That's discussion, but I'll wait for a second.
thank
Okay,
you.
I'll second it so we can go on and discuss.
Discussion?
Yeah, so does it meet our criteria of putting heads in beds?
Meet our criteria, what?
Putting heads in beds.
Well, it could.
Okay.
People could come to the mill on Friday afternoon, decide to stay Friday night at the new motel, or they could come down here to see Beck's Mill during Old Settlers' days and decide to stay at a motel next year when it's built. I think the potential is there to bring heads and beds.
I read an article on the DOE, on the Indiana site, and it talked about how valuable tourism is, not just for heads and beds, but bringing people into the community,
Yeah.
period. And then my main question or concern would be, how able are we to do this for every group that asks? And that one's not necessarily a privately owned, so I see it differently. I think that that's a good organization because it is county history. But if we get tons of requests, what can we do? And that's where the budget
Yep.
comes in, where we would decide how much we can spend a year on this sort of thing.
Let me have a breakdown of the budget on a separate sheet of who has requested funds and to kind of give us some FYI and give us a snapshot of people who's recurring every year.
Yep.
Well, and do
one
you
time
want it to be, do we want to be a startup for a Beck's Mill, the bigger amount year one, and then that's it, or a lesser amount year two, and then hope that they're on their own after that? Because it wouldn't be right to always support one group. They should become self-sufficient.
Yep.
At least that's,
Uh,
would make us
Yeah.
more effective.
I think that when I left, we were very good financially, and I'm thinking we were pretty good financially. But I do know they have this walk run coming up, which could bring in several $100s to walk. I don't see anything major expenses coming up, any new projects for them on the horizon. So, but what I'm saying is that's going to stabilize their finances. But $400 isn't that much.
Right. Well, I don't
But
think
I see
our questions are either one specifically Beck's Mill,
Yep.
but big picture.
So there's a motion, there's a second.
Second, all in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
We're gonna all be too big a thinkers, we can imagine.
Okay, not to get too far off.
Hey, Ronnie, you got anything?
And we present it in Mark's bill
When
too.
you get a chance.
Yes, I've got it.
You
right
got her,
here.
babe.
And before I leave, I'm going to check the Beck's Mill and
I want to say something about the chamber
and
involvement
the
in tourism.
midnight.
Okay.
The tourism doesn't have to have, run by a cop. The tourism boards that I've actually dealt with, because I do business outside of this county a lot, they usually don't have a phone number up on their website. They don't have instantaneous contact. You could actually go that way instead of having a phone number or anything of that nature. just because it looks like there's a void, doesn't mean there's necessarily a void. And you guys are really picking up the pace and actually doing outstanding work. You guys need to build your board and be able to do your own things without interference. Even though that interference is well-intentioned, it's, you know, you guys are a different organization than the chamber. And you guys are ruled by a different set of laws, okay? So please keep that in mind when, you know, you either have a really strict contract or kind of let her, you know, be off to the side for a while and let you guys build yourselves up. Also, I would like to suggest that you start meeting in the government building. I've already talked to the Purdue Extension office, and the building that we were in, the room that we were in for the commissioner meeting. It's very nice, Jack. I didn't say anything, but you know.
What's wrong
Yeah.
here?
This is good
What's wrong with here?
But no. I mean, for more formal meetings, if you want to go ahead and get out into the public, have a formal meeting where you invite the people that you.
Yeah, at City Hall.
Right, but
At City Hall, that's right.
tourism, well, no, see, this is a Washington County government thing. It's not anything to go over to the Purdue Extension office, see if the building's room's open, get a key before 4:30, and you're fine. And that way also, they went ahead and put a cabinet right by the door so that you guys can post your meetings legally. Okay?
What
So
are we doing illegal now?
you really need to have your meetings posted. You know, that the open door laws have gotten a lot stricter in the last few years. Not that anyone would turn you in for something like that. There are other more heinous, ugly things happening in other parts of the county. But, you know, you're penalized now. That if something, you know, rabid happens, you guys can have like a penalty of $100 a piece the first time and then $500 the next. I'd really like to see you guys be a little more open to the public in that sense. You would be presenting yourself as a legitimate, bona fide government organization. And it's a big enough room where you can invite people.
Hank, one thing we did talk about, and she reminded me, was scheduling one meeting a year in Pekin, Campbellsburg, each of the different communities that have a
I
building,
agree with that.
and then make it public, let people know that it's going to be there. I think we would be surprised. We might actually have interest that could build
And
there.
that's a good update that our website could help with in terms of making sure that the dates are out there.
Well, and it needed to be on the government website. The government website doesn't carry, that's Cybertech.
Yep.
It doesn't carry the tourism board meetings, which they should. Legally, they should.
Well, we can make sure that happens. We can also get on the chamber website too.
There are things, yeah, see, okay, but trying to bring you out and so that you are interfaced in a way that people can relate to you. Now, you know, I know you've heard like people say that you guys aren't doing anything, but that's not, when somebody says that, they're almost saying you're not letting me do anything. So if you open that door up and bring people in to let them go ahead and participate, you know, then you'll be doing something. That's what happened with the chamber. That's what happened with the chamber. People were able to participate. And it's the same thing with this here. Go ahead and bring people
Well,
in.
I appreciate your input. I think we can do that here
Yeah, I
or
think-
wherever we
Yeah,
choose. I don't think it has to be a government building.
And I think when we do if we get a work session together with someone,
Yep.
those would be things to list, to address,
Yeah,
that have been brought to our attention.
Yeah.
Well, you know, that's a simple fix as far as being transparent, just put it in the paper, and they will.
Yeah. And on the websites.
Yeah.
I agree.
Are we doing a booth on Friday
Very
night
good.
on the square?
Thank you. Did you talk to Anita about getting a,
No.
Just getting a spot.
Did we,
All the good spots are taken. And I apologize, but from my standpoint, I'm not going to be able to spend any time at a booth.
And I'm not needed,
Because-
to be honest with you, on account of salaries.
well,
And Lowell, you got your thing going on
here
here.
and up there with that yellow machine over there.
So we got John and We'll put John Fouts volunteers to run the booth Friday night in the square in his absence. I'm just kidding.
Well, and just like Rhonda has alluded to, you've alluded
Which
to.
I'm gonna-
We're
okay.
growing, and if we can't get it all perfect right now,
Right.
It will.
Yeah.
we're noticing what we need to do.
Yeah.
And
Old
we'll be
Settlers
more
is,
prepared in the
okay, up
future.
there
Exactly.
on Old Settlers weekend on Saturday and Sunday, we're gonna have 2 welcome tables,
And we can have our stuff.
and I'm gonna have stuff, as far as, I'm not gonna take the dining guides, because we're gonna, but as far as the tourism guides, and, you know, that way, you know, people come in, they can pick it up and see what we've got. Yeah.
Well, I think that's the big
That'd be
thing, as long as
Saturday,
it's
Sunday.
available.
What's the dates?
Yeah. We
What
got
are the dates?
What is it, September?
Be
What?
the 20th through the 22nd, to be honest with you.
September?
Yes.
Yeah.
Friday night on the square is the 20th, then the
Steve's,
21st and 22nd is,
Old
those
Settlers.
settlers, and then the 21st is Lowe's, the aviation days out here.
Here.
Right here.
Yeah, and at the airport. We're
Yeah.
gonna have a bouncy out here. We're gonna give away free cotton candy in here. Rhonda's got 5 or 6 people lined up to work in here, make rockets with the kids and all that.
When does Old Settlers officially end on Sunday?
Usually around 5 o'clock. We usually have like closing ceremonies and everything around 5.
Okay.
Now, I'm not busy the rest of that weekend, just that Friday night.
I'm sorry.
So we're not talking about having a tourism booth throughout the entire weekend,
No.
just for Friday night.
But I mean, you know, like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have stuff up there, you know, where we can put it out on our welcome tables, and we're gonna have 2 of them.
So we're not ready to use the tent yet, is what we're saying?
No, that'd be good.
No, but I mean, we need to use it.
Oh, yeah, we do, but we need a plan. Can't
Yeah,
just pop it up and
the
go.
other thing I guess we could do, again, I don't know if we're probably not prepared for it, but
And we need another member on the tourism board.
is there a way, Lowell, that we, could get that or the wall or something like that,
What?
kind of nailed down?
What? The wall,
All right, so all I'm thinking is a manless booth.
a manless booth. What do you want
Brochures.
over here?
Yeah,
For
people can
people
just
to
go in
pick up.
there and they can,
Your
they can
brochure
pick
rack.
up brochures, they
Oh,
can.
no,
I
I'm not
wish I'd
police.
known that.
No, I know, but
I was at
in the
a,
future, if there's a way to get it so that it's nailed down, you know, so we know it's not gonna walk away or whatever.
Yeah.
They
yeah,
had a whole
I-
room full of those. So
What's that?
cheap.
Stop me in the
I
middle
was
of my
at something the other
signature.
day that had a ton of display
Oh, is
racks,
that right?
and I didn't buy any. I should have.
I'm
because-
looking for another one. I thought that's got 72 slots, no way I could do. And but now I've got some other. I'm a basketball crazy, so there's about 5 of them taken up with the.
Well, and they had some that
Mylan.
were the narrow, they just went up like a, straight up, and it held a bunch. I can't remember where I was. I've been all over.
You know, it'd be really cool
Well, I'll keep my eyes on it.
is to have those like those little individual brochure things, right? And then have them on props on both sides of a prop, and then have a pole going up with a bunch of props stacked up. You know?
Oh
You want a
yeah.
motion to adjourn?
Yeah,
Okay, I move that we adjourn.
I think it'd be cool.
I second.
okay, we got a motion on the floor to adjourn, we got a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I decline.
Oh, you were gonna say about, we need a board member.
Yeah, I'm gonna get with John. John's supposed to